I had that same problem in the last meeting, Jordan.
Yeah. All right. So we're here to talk about Avocado 1.42. This is a very big release. There are quite a few features. We got the release notes out to you well in advance, so I hope by now a lot of you have seen some of the bigger features and you're ready to learn some details. I will remind you the process for getting this into your live environment, or what we call your production environment. Remember, this is going to go first into your sandbox, and we'll notify you as and when that happens. And then with your approval, we will then schedule to send it into your live environment. When all of those things happen, you should be getting notification emails letting you know when your install is scheduled, and then once it is complete. Let's dive right into it. I actually don't have any other news today. So there are a couple of changes to facility booking in 1.42, and those are going to keep coming. We'll talk a little bit about what's on deck for facility booking as well. But facility booking is something that we're seeing receive quite a bit of attention right now. So first up, this has been in development for some time. We've moved or allowed you to move facility booking onto the portal. So there's quite a bit here, but really at the end of the day, facility booking on the portal is going to look and feel fairly similar to facility booking in the Avocado menu. I won't go through every single piece of it on screen, but I would encourage you to turn this on in your portal and see what it looks like and how it functions. I will let you know a couple of things from a high level. So first off, the portal is set up to make booking requests, not actual finalized bookings. If you use our facility booking system, you might know that you can make a request and then review and either approve or deny that request. So folks will not be able to go onto the portal and directly finalize a reservation for something. They'll be making a request for that reservation, which you or your staff can then filter through the Avocado menu the same way you have been for other bookings. The second thing I'll point out is that now every one of your facilities is going to be bookable externally, meaning on the portal, or internally, meaning in the Avocado menu. So that is a new setting on each one of your facilities that you'll want to pay attention to if this is something you're going to use. This is enabled via a custom setting. So there is a new custom setting in your custom settings app. So if you are looking to turn this on and play with it in the portal, that is where you will start. Now, because it's a whole new section of the portal, there are a lot of changes to your language files. You can choose names for buttons, for titles and field. And if you need to make additional changes there, again, turn it on in the portal and start talking to us about what, if anything, needs to be changed there for you. We have made most of those updates for you, but just be aware that this means an expansion of the language file. Sticking with facility booking, we've updated the interface for calendars. So in the Avocado menu, when you go into facility booking, you'll see the option to print schedules. When you do, now you'll be able to merge those schedules. So in the screenshot here, I've got the Cabin of Crooks and the Hall of Heroes both being printed together. There is no limit to the number of schedules you can print together. I've just got 2. So this should make it easier for you to print out large or more complex facility booking calendars, especially if you're using parent facilities and then children or sub-facilities. This will make it easier to add all or some of those to a single view. There's no setup there. That's ready to go. Third facility booking change, we have added a notes field to the booking itself. So if you're seeing us in the Avocado menu, we've clicked on Edit Event. There is now a Notes button, and you're able to add individualized timed notes. Okay, I'll talk a little bit more about facility booking at the end. We do have a change to barcodes. You've seen a number of these changes incrementally over the last couple of releases. So we've given you 2 new custom settings that are going to let you set the minimum and maximum values that are auto-generated. So if you're using the auto-generation feature, where Avocado picks the next barcode for you, you can now set the range within which it works. Moving over to the Avocado portal, and this is a big one. This is a big list of features. This is kind of buried in there. But now on the portal, you may offer your clients the ability to withdraw from a program. So they can cancel a program. A couple things of note. So first, this is configurable on an instance by instance basis. So we gave you a very fine-grained level of control here as to which programs can be canceled on the portal and which can't. Second, we have taken prorated refunds into account. There are more details in the release notes about how those are calculated, but I'd encourage you to play around with those and see how that works. Those refunds can go to an account credit or to the original payment method. I will point out that those refunds are left in a scheduled state. So if you're familiar with your refund flow, a refund is left in a scheduled state and then actually paid out or completed. So these will be left in a scheduled state for your finance teams or your operations teams or whoever handles your refunds to pick up and process. The field that we use to determine when or if folks can cancel is actually an existing field. It's just called the registration cancel end. So you can get ahead of this now in your production environment if it's something you intend to use by proactively setting those dates. Oh, and that's what I was just saying about the refunds. I guess I was ahead of myself. In terms of what folks will see on the portal, so this is a screenshot from the Avocado portal. Thank you, Nancy Patel, one of our newest staff. I stole the screenshot from you. You'll see a little trash can to the right of the status, to the left of the schedule. That will allow the person to withdraw from the program. If they can't withdraw, if the date has passed or if it's not allowed, they'll just receive an error message or, sorry, a warning message. If they can, then it'll take them out and move on to a prorated refund if that's what's appropriate, or just cancel if there are no fees. Another related but different enhancement to the portal is the ability to pay with account credits. I say related because now your users can withdraw from a program, they can cancel a program, receive that refund as an account credit, and that and any other credit can now be used to pay for things on the Avocado portal. I will point out that this does have to be enabled. So if you want to play around with this in your sandbox, remember, head into the Avocado custom settings and turn that on first. They'll see a list of available credits. It's similar to the flow you're used to in the Avocado menu, just moved over to the portal. So two big changes to the portal: the ability to withdraw from programs and the ability to pay with credits. For credits, it's a very simple configuration. You're just turning it on. If you do want to use program withdrawal, remember you need to think about what dates you want to restrict, and you want to start setting those dates on your programs if you haven't already. Next up, Cantaloupe. For those of you who don't know, Cantaloupe is the name of our system that runs your access control. If you have swipes in or out of your facility, if you have door kickers, gates that turn, Cantaloupe is the system that works with all of those. It also keeps event logs, which are the records in Salesforce that tell you who came into your building, how they swiped in, etc. Cantaloupe received a pretty big update 2 releases ago. Yeah, 2 ago in 1.40. And yeah, that's right, when it crossed the big 4.0. And we allowed you to swipe in using Cantaloupe for program registrations. So remember, before then, Cantaloupe would only recognize memberships. So if I have membership X, I can swipe into this building or get access to this facility. Now, Cantaloupe will work with program registrations if you set it up on a program-by-program basis, meaning I don't have to be a member in the facility, but if I'm registered in karate class, then I can swipe in 10 minutes before karate class or 5 minutes before karate class. And we let you set how many minutes that is. So that's all to say, if you're using that feature I just described, then we've now built on that by letting you send a registration email that includes the barcode. So we've given you the ability to swipe into the facility with a registration. You need a barcode to facilitate that swipe. So if you use this email template, someone can register online on the portal, receive that email on their smartphone, and swipe into the facility using that barcode without ever having to contact staff or get a physical card from you. So there will be some setup for this. You'd have to set up an email template. There are more details on this in the release notes if you want to set that up. And if you struggle with that, reach out to support. They'd be happy to help you. We gave you a few different pieces of data that you can pull through to that email, but I'll leave that to the release notes. Have a read if you're going to use it. Another change to programs, positive development. We've introduced the concept of prerequisite registrations. So you have to have completed program A before you can register into program B. In the menu, staff will be able to override this. So staff will be able to see, hey, that little Johnny didn't do program A, but staff may choose to override that for whatever reasons you allow. However, on the Avocado portal, users will not be able to register if they have not completed the prerequisite program. Unsurprisingly, there is some setup here. You are going to have to tell Avocado which programs are prerequisites for which. I won't try to teach you all of that here, but know that you can go to the release notes for some of those details, and I'd encourage you to play with that in your sandbox. One thing I will point out, we've introduced this new concept on registrations, this concept of a registration being completed, and that's necessary for this prerequisite registration to function. Now, I'll talk a little bit more in the release notes about what that means, but you can look for that soon in the Avocado menu as soon as you get 1.42. After a class, you can head into the registration itself and mark that registration complete. So start to play around with that, work through the setup of making your programs prerequisites for one another. And it'll be important to think through workflows that surround the completion, the marking completion, and also just work through the structure of what's required for what. Okay, moving over to memberships. I think we've got a handful of membership improvements here. First is for punch passes. We have introduced an expiry date for punch passes. Previously, you could list how many punches a punch pass contained. Now, in addition to limiting the number of punches, you can set an expiry date on that. A big change to memberships, actually, that a lot of you have been waiting on. So we've introduced the ability to sell multiple memberships to one individual with some restrictions. So you'll have the ability to sell multiple, what I'll call an ancillary membership. I got a lot of flack for that term. Call them, I think, extra. Extra is the simple version of that word. You can sell extra memberships. In the release notes, I describe in more details what I mean by this. If you're familiar with your membership setup, you'll know there's this field on the membership package that says is member. It's a checkbox. And if you check that, they're a member. If you check that, they're not a member. We refer to that as giving them member benefits. We'll describe a bit in the release notes what that means. So now you can have one membership with member benefits, so the system knows which one to use in those situations. But you may have unlimited memberships that are not, where is member is not checked, where is not member, I guess. I know some of you were intending to use this for punch passes. Some folks sell sort of an extra or an add-on membership. There are a number of different ways in which you might use this. There is something to be said about how swipes will be impacted by this. Remember earlier we were talking about Cantaloupe, which records a record of who enters and when. When it makes that record, when it says, Matthew just swiped into the downtown YMCA, it'll put that Matthew swiped in using membership X, or that he swiped in for program Y. So we had to come up with a logic for determining which membership to list, or etc. And that's described here, and it's described in a little more detail in the release notes. Basically, first, we're going to look for the one that has member benefits. And if that's valid, if that allows you entry at this day, at this time, at this place, that's the one we use. After that, we go to your subscriptions that don't have member benefits, the ones where is member is not checked. And after that, we would go to punch passes, which are then used in the order of their expiry. So that may impact some of your reports or just in general your understanding of those event logs when you're looking at them. Staying on memberships, a change to allowances and entitlements. Membership entitlements can now be made contact specific. Previously, it referenced the entire account. So anyone on the account could hold the entitlement. We've now allowed you to make that contact specific, a little easier seen than described, but we talk about that more in the release notes. And if you want a hand setting that up, get in touch with support. I had a bunch of shapes that we were going to show how this all worked, and I threw that out the window and replaced it with contact support. Okay, moving away from memberships, you've seen a few changes to the way that your logos work. We've slowly been giving you control over more and more of the logos in our system. I believe this is the final step in that journey, which is now across the system, your organizational logo can be set. I didn't try to list all the places, so we just wrote various places. This should be everywhere. When we upgrade you to 1.42, we will attempt to take an existing logo file of yours or that we have and put it in the right place. If we need a logo from you, we'll get in touch. So far, the fastest logo response I received was, I think, about 3 minutes and 15 seconds. So if we ask you for a logo and you can get it back to us faster than that, you win. Until then,
yeah,
Sarah.
Philly.
That's right, yes. And that was with attachment. Next up, another change of direction, talking about payment methods. We've been making a lot of changes to payment methods. We've given you more control over when you can edit payment methods, deactivate payment methods. This continues in that spirit. This is specific to eCard, so only those of you using eCard in the NMI gateway. We are now allowing you to edit stored payment methods. And more details about that if you're using eCard. Sometimes small changes are very meaningful. So we had this challenge in Engage that if you use Engage, you might be familiar with. And we decided to implement a new solution as a way to solve this challenge. And that solution is called the alphabet. So previously, there was a list here of your branches or your locations, and it displayed in an uninterpretable order. And so we've decided to impose a bit of order on that list. It now follows the alphabet. So A will be first, Z will be last. We're sorry that it was any other way. So if you memorized the idiosyncratic way in which your branches appeared previously, I'm sorry. But luckily there's a song you can sing now to help you figure out where they are on the list. So small change, big impact. Branches are now in alphabetical order. In the Avocado menu, well, actually, this really does pertain to all of Avocado, but you'll set this in the menu. So in Avocado in general, a while back, about a year ago, we gave you the ability to create account or contact adjustments. So an adjustment that will automatically apply to either a person or a household based on some rules that you set. Right? And these are different from the sort of discounts you might apply at the point of sale. For those of you who are utilizing that, you asked us for the ability to set the name. Up until now, when you created one of these, it would receive an automatically generated name. It was a combination, I believe, of the person's name and the name of the rule. Now you will be able to type in a free text name of your choosing. So this can be Matthew's Camp Adjustment, etc. Now, if you really love those auto-generated names, or if you'd set up reports to work on those auto-generated names, etc., you can still use them. You just leave the name field blank, and the old-fashioned or the old style of concatenated name will show up for you. Another quick change, but hopefully meaningful for you. On both the Avocado menu and in the portal, the mobile phone field is now visible for contacts when adding and editing. Another change to forms. So I know we heard that some of you had some challenges navigating account-based forms. So again, about a year ago, we gave you this ability to add a form to the account or the contact, as opposed to just to the registration or to the purchase. And when you're in the Avocado menu and you're looking at a list of all of the contacts, you need to select the contact in order to see their forms. What we heard is that your staff don't always know the contact's name. They just know that it's the child or it's the 7-year-old. So we've added some info to that dropdown to make it easier for your staff to figure out which contact they're dealing with. So where it used to just say first name, last name, now it says the name of the contact, their age, their role on the account, and their barcode. So just make it quicker and easier for your staff to find the forms that they're dealing with instead of hunting and pecking. And I think this is the last one. We had a small number of fixes this time, but this one had a large number of tickets attached to it. So we did fix a bug that was preventing prompts attached to a program. Those weren't being asked through the Avocado portal if the division was set to standard registration. What that means for most of you is that program prompts didn't work in HFA and camps. For most of you, those are the divisions that would be affected by this. You were able to use prompts, but you had to place them on the instance. Now you may place up to 3 on the instance, and the 3 on the program will now take effect. Oh, okay, yeah. Last up is what's in development, which I'm very sorry I skipped last time. I didn't hear as much about that as I thought, but I was aware. So we start with the standard disclaimer, which is that development is hard. Development happens in stages. Development is unpredictable. Did I mention that development is hard? And these are just some of the things that we're working on. So please remind yourself of that disclaimer. But with all of that said, here are some things that are in the pipeline right now. We are working on a tool for automated and batch rollover registration. Some of you have called this perpetual registration. Some of you have called it rollover. There's probably other terms. We're going with rollover for now, and we'll have more details about that next month. We are introducing advanced pricing control for program registration. As you know, you can set a price for members and non-members. We are kicking that up a notch, letting you set different prices by membership type, by age, etc. Again, more details on that one next month. We're working on some membership upgrade and downgrade enhancements. I think you see we've been working on a lot of proration pieces, membership change pieces. That's the next step in that journey. We're continuing on the facility booking train. You're going to see quite a few more. I think you saw 3 or 4 pieces for facility booking this time. We're going to continue to build on facility booking on the portal. And we're also looking at making a few changes that make it easier to manage really large numbers of facility booking for things like sport partners and what we might think of as a third-party organization that does larger numbers of bookings for you. So we're looking to make improvements in that area. And last on this list, but not least, we're making some enhancements to financial assistance, and you'll see those next month. Okay, I think that's all we've got for today. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate everybody coming out. It helps make sure you all know what's going on in Avocado. I will take this video and I will put it into the release notes, which will be exactly where you found them before this meeting, but I'll send out another email just in case. So thanks so much. If you have any questions about this, please do get in touch, and I know you will. All right, we'll see you all soon.